All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back. It's been a long, very long 2 weeks. I just so busy with like Christmas and all the other holidays and spending time with like so many people at like obviously it's great on one hand to like spend time with family, don't take that for granted, but just getting pulled out of your routine, like missing, that was my first YouTube video I missed. I think it was 22 or 20, 21 or 22 weeks. So like missing that momentum. And then like also the gym was inconsistent. I mean, part of it or all of it's pretty much my fault. I could have tried to squeeze it in further, but even just the vibe of the holidays, it's like it just made me lazier. But I was barely home for most of it, and then so there was like 2 full weeks of pretty much doing absolutely nothing, and I was going absolutely insane. I think lazy, like being able to relax is good, but when there's too much relaxing, it's like I just get so antsy, and then everything else just sucks, honestly. Like I feel like I'm miserable, like I can't even be myself. But anyways, we're back now. I gonna continue the 1 week uploads. If you guys are new here, pretty much I'm just documenting myself building my first kind of second software company. I don't even like calling it a company, because really my goal with these is just to like make a product and like just have it sustain itself and keep it small. Like I don't really care about scaling it to like millions of dollars like some people do. I think just having one decently successful product or even a few small successful products like would be great, easier to manage. I think the more money you make, the more stressed everything is. So I was working on a student productivity app first. I think I'm gonna slightly pivot away from that afterwards, but I kind of took a little side tangent to build a feedback platform that's more like discussion based and primarily focuses on like user engagement and stuff. And plus feedback platforms, like they're kind of boring, but they're just so expensive, and I kind of wanted to cater it. I wanted to first just make it so I could use it, but then I wanted to cater it towards smaller teams, solo developers. This is how it's looking right now. I did a lot of work yesterday, but yeah, like I said, the first 2 weeks or last 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, literally like zero work was done. And yeah, so the main updates, I was working on getting the post. I got to make this modal. I'm going to make changes to this. Basically, when you come in, create feedback, you can choose your space and then create a post. The post, this is just the feed. The post show up here, and then there's all your spaces here for the product. So this was the student app that I was building before. But yeah, anyways, last video too, I was talking about how I was splitting up my workload into cycles. It was planned out really well. I had a decent, like it was all spaced out perfectly. Like there wasn't too much per week. It was like weekly sprints. And they were all manageable, like all the work was manageable for sure, easily. But then, like I said, since I took those 2 weeks off, or was kind of forced to take those 2 weeks off, I didn't really get I didn't get a lot of work done. So then now all the sprints are kind of combining and stacking on top of each other. So I got a bit done yesterday to catch up, but this is this week's, and this was only like a couple things. I might move some things around for this, because as I'm looking at it now, like I don't know why I have Stripe here and the pricing, like I feel like that should be later on, because like I can do like the roadmap page, and there's just other stuff I can do that I think makes more logical sense. But right now, finishing up the feed page, which I just did, and then I got to get the upvoting working, which I'll get into a little bit later on in the video, but it's kind of a little complicated with that. Like it seems so simple, but when you're dealing with anonymous users, it's a little bit more difficult than that. And then comments was one of the other things. And then these I might move around, like the pricing and Stripe, because to do all that in 1 week, it's going to be optimistic. But like I said, I think there's going to be a more logical route to take after this, but we'll have to see until that's done. I got a whiteboard too. It's honestly, I was thinking about getting one of the big standing ones, but it's like just too big. And this one's still like perfectly, the size is great for what I need it for. So these are the to-dos for today. Did the feed page, planning and building the upvoting system, and then start the comment section and then the individual post page as well. So this will be cool too, because I think it'll be better to plan out certain things, especially if I'm trying to like mind map things. It'll be good to draw it on here, and then even for the videos to kind of show the process better than on like an iPad or like a small piece of paper. It'll be cool to write it all on here, which I think will just make the whole visualization process, and I can even go deeper into how I'm planning things too, which I think would be pretty great. Since I was talking about how I lost that momentum, it really, like when I was in those like 2 weeks where I either wasn't at home, like didn't really have much time to to myself for one thing and too much time to kind of focus and work. I was just doing a lot of reflecting, and I started getting thoughts of like, obviously how important momentum is, but even like the whole work-life balance thing where everyone always preaches, and like even like I always used to say it too, where like you got to have balance and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's true. You don't want to be working nonstop, hustling nonstop to where you just burn out. Like obviously you don't want to do that. But at the same time, I started to think like as I'm sitting on my ass, not doing anything for 2 weeks, I'm like, obviously this is too far balance, or the balance is too far the other way now by relaxing this long. But I'm still thinking like, I feel like this balance is almost like, if you don't use it carefully, you almost can convince yourself to just be lazy. And it's like, oh, well, I can stop working a little earlier tonight because, gotta keep the balance. So I think, honestly, and the more I thought about it, this might get a little toxic depending on how far you want to push it. But if you think about doing something that's very difficult, like, wouldn't you want to be like, and the fact that so many people are trying to go after the exact same thing, wouldn't you want to work harder than every single person? Like, I think, yeah, you should have the right balance to not burn out, like I said. But at the same time, like, I think if you worked so hard and you were so dedicated to achieving something, you should want to put yourself in a position that like if someone else is going up against you and competing against you, like you're gonna blow them out of the water just because of how hard you work. I think when you start bringing in balance, it's a hard thing to literally having balance, because it can easily go one way or the other. But I think I drew it down, or I concluded it to not so much, like get your rest, get your balance, if you want to call it that. But I think it's the sweet spot is to whatever keeps momentum going. Because right when I lost the momentum, like everything went out the window. Like right when I missed that first YouTube upload, like the gym sessions were getting skipped. Even if I could have made it work, like I talked myself out of it. Like if I missed my regular time, like the whole routine was out of whack. But regardless, I still could have made it work. But just because of that one simple thing of not uploading the video, it was like like a whole domino effect of everything else just kind of collapsing. So, and once you lose the momentum, it's so hard to get it back. Like once you build the habit of doing something, whether it's getting up at a certain time, reading a certain amount of pages every day, working for X amount of hours, it's really hard to break that once you are consistent with it. But then to get back into it, it's like you have to restart again. It's a lot harder. So I think momentum, and it's so important to have the momentum. So I think you should be doing whatever you can to not lose it, whatever that is for you. It's probably differs from everybody, right? But yeah, I know for myself, I know for a fact, like I could be working much harder and I'm not. And I think it's because in the back of my mind, I'm like relying on that. Oh, you got to have the balance. Honestly, I'm starting to think, yeah, like I said, don't deprive yourself of sleep. Don't burn out. But like at the same time, I think burning out is a lot harder to do than you would think. And like I said in the last video, it would be really nice to know your limits. So anyways, where I'm going with this long speech is I hate tracking my time. I only want to do this for the statistic base to show at the end of like how many hours we actually worked. But other than that, I hate tracking time. I think the best way to, at least it's all different, right? There's no best way when it comes to productivity, but for me, it was more so, just having a list of items and trying to tick off all of that, right? Because time doesn't really equal productivity. But I wanted to do something a little bit hard as a challenge, and I saw someone else do it, funny enough, when I literally saw it last night. He was doing 12 hours a day for 30 days. And that, honestly, just trying to balance like a day job, gym, eating, reading, if you run too, like cardio, like there's so much stuff to balance, and like 12 hours is honestly just not enough time to do quality work for 12 hours. Like that's honestly, I just don't think that's even that feasible, to be honest. Like thinking about that for me, like the quality of work would be terrible. So I was aiming to do a challenge just for all of the rest of January, which it's the January 6th right now. So just the rest of the month, where I aim to do 10 hours of work every single day. And you guys feel free to join this challenge as well. So about 6.5 of those hours, maybe 7, are my day job. and maybe like that's on a good day. And then I want to fill the rest up to 10 hours doing like, it could be working on this project, it could be YouTube stuff, filming, editing the videos, like all that kind of productive stuff into that, the rest of the fill the gaps. And then on weekends, just try to hit the 10 hours. I think that will be the hardest part on the weekends, but I think during the week it'll be fine with the day job. At like, obviously it's still going to be demanding, but 10 hours isn't as daunting as 12 a day. And if you think about how much you could really get done, if it's actually quality work, because I haven't done this before, so like if it actually works out to be like, oh, I can actually get quite a lot done, the amount you can get done working that much will be just insane. So I think I want to just do it as an experiment and a challenge just for myself. You guys are happy to tag along. I'm going to be documenting it for the rest of the month. Weekly uploads as usual, just trying to stick to it and just to push my limit of how much or how hard I can actually work, right? I think it's hard if you haven't pushed yourself to that limit, you don't even really know. And it's easy to be like, oh, don't burn out. But at the same time, like, I feel like I haven't even really been that close to burnout before. I think it's the same with overtraining at the gym. Everyone's like, oh, don't overtrain. But I think it's realistically very, very difficult to overtrain and burn out. And I know it's probably different for everybody, but I don't know. I think I just want to challenge myself to something. And especially after losing the momentum, I think it could be a great challenge to start the year off, get the momentum back, and just kind of see what happens with that. So I still have to kind of fix this up. I don't know, the calendar's bugging. I don't know, it shouldn't be black right there, but this is my schedule. Usually work session in the morning or the gym, and then it's usually a 5 a.m. start is what I'm planning for. Then the work 9 to 3:30, maybe 4, then the run, and then see the time to eat too, and then focus block at the end. And then I want to be in bed by like 8:30-ish, around then, but I also would like to ideally be done by like 7:30 so I have time to wind down. And I don't know, we'll see how this schedule works. I'm going to try it for the next couple days, and then I'll be updating you guys this week, so you'll see in this video how well it went. But so far I did an hour in the morning, and then this is just my day job here. And then I'm gonna count the YouTube stuff because it's all kind of related, and then finish up work and then get some more. I don't know, it's just 12, even fitting 10 hours in a day is a lot. So to do 12, I think is insane. Maybe I'll try that next after this, but I want to start somewhat small with just 10 hours and see how that goes. All right, I'm gonna get some work done, or gonna get some food and then get some work done. And then yeah, I'll catch up with you guys after the workday's done, and gotta get the run in, and then we'll start the last deep work session of the day. So something I started to do last year a little bit was just journal every day, and I talked about it before in some past videos, but it's just nice to kind of reflect on how things are going. But I wanted to take it a step further and kind of have an outline of just every Monday, 3 questions to ask myself just about the progress, how are the quarterly goals going. So that one is just, I set quarterly goals for this next year. So I think it was Ali Abdel who said quarterly goals, or where I got it from. But he said usually like setting goals for a full year it's hard because you almost don't really know when you're going to be focusing on them, right? And a year is like a long time, so it's hard to kind of get the focus for a lot of goals in like over a long span of time. So if you break it up into like 4 quarters and have like almost seasons of different focuses, you can narrow it down. You can get a little more specific with it, and it's also easier to kind of see, okay, these 3 months I'm doing this, the next 3 months I'm doing this, the next, it's just better to be outlined like that, in my opinion. Haven't done it before, but I'm going to give it a shot. And then, so that's just one reflection question every week. How are the goals going? And then what am I doing well? Just write down like things that I'm happy with doing or what I'm proud of doing, and then what I could be doing better. Because there's always stuff you could be doing better. And I think it's good to reflect on that kind of thing. So, yeah. And then I'm still finishing this book. I'm not even halfway yet. I'm starting to read it more now. It is a lengthy book though, like 750 pages, something like that. So that's another thing I want to focus on, is reading at least 10 pages a day, either like in the morning if I have a slower morning, or before bed to kind of like help tire you out. I think the 1 book a week was a little optimistic, but at least 10 pages, it's not too bad. It's easy to stick to, and you can still get through in a month. You can still get through like a book a month easily. So I've been kind of reading this too on the side. Literally just started it yesterday, but it was really cheap. And honestly, I don't really know who Brendan Kane is, but I saw it on Amazon, really cheap, decided to pick it up. Just about social media and marketing and things like that. So that'll be interesting to get into as well. But anyways, I'm gonna start the run now, just get changed. And then yeah, I'll see you guys after that. All right, run's done. I'm at a total of 6 hours, 17 minutes right now. It's crazy, like it's 5 p.m. right now. I just finished eating. This is what this time was right here. I ran, ate, cooked, did the dishes, and then now it's 5. And then now to do the remaining 4 hours, that's gonna take me right to 9 p.m., which is exactly the bedtime I need to wake up tomorrow. And like, it's crazy how tight it is when, like with just 10 hours, like I can't even imagine trying to do 12. Like I'd have to stay up till 11, which makes no sense. But yeah, I'm gonna get a good solid 4 hours in here or so. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I'm done. I think this is definitely gonna be harder than I think. The first couple days might be not so bad, but like to do this for the whole entire month, that's gonna be tricky. But I'm like, I know I could easily just input it and not actually do it, but I'm gonna be honest, if I miss a day or miss some time, I'm gonna let you guys know. So yeah. All right, let's see how this goes. So it's currently 6:42, almost 2 hours in to the last work block of the day. So like 2 hours left. But basically I just want to give you an update on something. Like for the upvotes, something that seems so simple is gonna get pretty complicated, because basically how I set it up, and since it needs to work for anonymous people too, I basically decided to do, I'll just show you. So this is the flow that I'm at least trying to go with. You press upvote, it checks if you're authenticated or not. If not, check the cookies to see if there's a session ID, which session ID is what I'm gonna use for the anonymous people so that they can't just keep upvoting, and that's like their like user ID, and then store it in cookies. I think that's a good way to do it. So it's gonna check if it's authentic, if they're authenticated. If not, check if the session ID is there. If it's not, generate and store it. Then it's gonna just go through the inserting process, and then if they are authenticated, then just use the user ID instead of the session ID. So I'm starting to get that set up, and I think that makes sense. But now what I'm running into is to check if it's upvoted or not. I guess this is what you're gonna have to do, but to me it just seems like there's already so many computations for a simple upvote, but to see if it's actually upvoted or not, to then toggle, because I guess when you first press it, it's gonna have to toggle a state that switches between calling the add upvote versus the remove the upvote to take your upvote away. So to see what that Boolean is, like I guess I need to grab the whole upvoters table and then just use their ID or their session ID to compare it. It seems like such a big initialization overhead, and I don't know if there's another way. I might check ChatGPT and see if there's a better way to do that. I think that's what we have to do though. But to me, it just seems like there's so much overhead. But I don't know. I think the best way to handle this is to optimistically update it. So like you click it, it updates right away instead of clicking it and then it's going to be a delay. Like I don't like that delay of clicking. It would be nice to click and then immediately updates it. So I'll probably do that with that and the taking your vote away. But yeah, not gonna lie, this is I feel like the quality of work now is pretty useless, and the fact that there's still 2 hours to go, like that's crazy. But it's not even like it's that much. Like 10 hours isn't even that much if you think about it. And like I had my day job on top of that, so it's like, I don't know, I feel like maybe I need to adjust to it over time. But anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next update. All right, here's the update for yesterday. Just scratched 10 hours. I was itching to get to sleep. Yeah, that was honestly a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. And it's crazy because if you think about people who have like a long commute, like to work, it's basically just like an 8-hour day plus a commute. And I was like struggling to keep going. But it's like my day was packed. So it's not even like there was really much else to squeeze. Like I feel like I think I only used my phone for like an hour. So I don't know. It does feel good though. I think like obviously it's only day 2. I think the longer you do something like this, the harder it's gonna get to a certain extent. But the first couple of days, you know, you're running off that like initial motivation, initial high. But it's been good because for the first time in a while, I felt like I went to bed and there was like nothing else I could have done. Like that was my 100% effort, or at least 80 to 100%. So like I just went to sleep pretty fulfilled, and even this morning it felt pretty good waking up early. So yeah, like I already got the gym in today, and then it's 8 a.m. right now. So I'm gonna go eat and then get like an hour or so of work in before I start my job, and then work that until whatever 4 p.m. or so. And no run today, so that means the afternoon will be a little bit more open. So that's what today kind of looks like. I guess I'm a little bit off for that one, but I'll move that down and then work and then one last focus block. But yeah, anyways, see you guys in the next update. And I got the upvoting working for when you click on it, like if you're signed in or not. Basically all it does pretty much what I said in the last clip when I talked about it. Not signed in, use the session ID and the cookies, and then this just uses the user ID, and this is just the upvotes table. So I'll just query this with the post ID and get a count of all the records to show this number, and then that's how I'll keep that updated. And then now I just need to work on removing them, or at least some sort of logic to then when you click it again, it'll remove it, and then I guess preload it, so that when you load up the page, if you've already upvoted it, it like shows it highlighted or something that you've already upvoted it. The goal for this morning is to kind of get that all wrapped up and move on from this, finish up the whole upvoting, kind of just outlined the plan of doing that, and then look into getting the comments done. So yeah. Anyway, see you guys in the next update. There's something weird about it being sunny but snowy. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen, you know, it rain and be sunny. Don't even know how well this picks it up. But I've never seen snow. It basically is the same thing, just in winter, I guess. But I don't know. It's like we're really weird vibes going on right now. Okay, little update. I'm at the 6-hour mark. It's like around 3:30 right now. Gonna take a little break because the energy levels or the focus levels has just been dwindling. Like I'm still doing the job stuff, so it's kind of hard to focus regardless with that. But I think the early wake up times as well is drain. Like my energy is like I'm just in a slump of low energy. So gonna take a little bit of a break. Hopefully rekindle some energy, and then I think I have 6 hours, so 4 more hours left tonight. Hopefully only takes me to 8:30 or so or something like that. So pretty much same as last night. So yeah, anyways, we'll see how that goes. Literally the past hour and like a half, I've been stuck on this. I'm pulling my hair out. So I set up the upvote count to be just a function here, or a aggregate function, however you say it. So it just adds it to the query, and then I'm just using that in here instead of querying it with the Subase. Like I'm just using the RPC. But for some reason, the posts all show up. When I test it, I'll test the function here with the project ID. Upvote count shows up, but then in the response, they're all 0. And all the upvotes are 0. So I'm like so tempted to move on to something else because, like I said, I've been like absolutely pulling my hair out. And this is just getting so annoying. But I don't know. At first, I wasted like an hour because I realized it was disabled by default. Subase apparently disables it by default, but I just enabled it and it still didn't work. So now I have no idea what else to do. So anyways, we'll see what happens. Still going for like another 2.5 hours. So this is so great. I don't know how 7.5 hours never has felt longer in my life. Like it's crazy. See, this is how you know that it's just my brain's just not working. Watch. Because I don't have a select policy. I've been working with Subase for so long and I still forget this. Look, save. There it is. Watch, ready? wow, there they are, just like that. Of course, that's just how it works. It's been like, I mean, I guess I still had to enable it on Subase, so that the first hour I wouldn't have been able to change, but that second half an hour would have been really nice. Then I'll have to worry about this. So yeah, awesome. The whole reason I didn't even have it to begin with was because I didn't want to show who's upvoting what, but I don't think there's a way around that, so it just kind of sucks because these public ones are kind of annoying because that, like, for anonymous people, like, you kind of just, you have to be able to read it. I just didn't think that the count and then the number, like, just, I don't even need the rows. I just need the number of the rows. And then apparently you still need to select. I guess it makes sense, but I was hoping I didn't have to do that. So anyways, now I'm gonna try to do this, to fetch and handle the Boolean and then color in if it's actually been upvoted or not. And yeah, I'll go from there. I want this upvoting stuff finished. I'm really sick of this now. All right, we've done it. This is anonymous. Upvotes work perfectly now. It's crazy how such a simple thing took so long just because of how much logic there went in behind it. I think I'm doing it a pretty messy way, but pretty much to fetch the posts now, I pass in the session ID, which is in their cookies, if you're anonymous. This would have been so much easier if I just didn't allow anonymous upvotes and stuff like that. And then this is the upvoting logic, like the API route, like pretty messy, but it's just checking if you're signed in. Well, first of all, it passes in if it's upvoted or not, so it knows if to upsert or delete. And then it checks if you're logged in or not. Like, this probably could be cleaned up a lot, but honestly, it works. So that's what I'm gonna run with for now. So now next on the list is gonna be the comments on the posts. But before I do that, I need to create the page when you click on the post, and then it goes to the actual individual post page, and that's where you can add the comments. And I started getting a slug here on these are just the posts. Started getting the slug here just because I think it looks better. I could just use the ID in the URL, but I think the slug based on the title is just a more cleaner looking approach. It's honestly probably not super necessary, but it'd just be kind of a good practice to have, I guess. So I'm gonna have to modify the create post logic to also generate a slug and then save it here. But then I also need to check for duplicates. And if there is, just like do some sort of pattern to make it unique and just kind of keep doing that if that one was taken and so forth. So it'll be a little bit of work to get set up, but I'm hoping it doesn't take too long. And hopefully I can get the comments done today. I don't think that will be realistically too hard. So hopefully tonight I can get the comments done. And then the last two things for this week, to set up the full rich text editor. So like right now it's pretty much just a text editor with, it's TipTap, but you can't do the menu options or anything. So I want to get that set up. And then also the roadmap page as well. Which now that I think about it, I might move one of these to next week, but at the same time, I do have a lot of days left this week and a lot of time. So yeah, I may as well just leave it in, but I am itching for a break. All right, a little bit of an update. It's now Thursday. These are the last 3 days. Today, not gonna lie, I went to the gym this morning. Like usually when I wake up, go to the gym right away. I come back, I don't like to rush, like I shower, then I journal for a bit and then I read. Like I like taking it slow after that big rushed morning. So literally all of this morning and then like eating too, like that's what all that morning was. So I didn't really get to work at anything in the morning, but then just finished work for the job right now. And then now like 4 more hours or so till the end of the night and it's 3:45. So not bad timing, honestly. 10 hours is honestly pretty doable. I think Tuesday was the hardest day by far. But yesterday was great. Like I felt like I was able to focus for a really long time, which usually I start, well, Tuesday I was just drained for whatever reason. But yesterday I felt great and I just feel so much more fulfilled. Like I think if you guys are in a similar position where you can't even, like you just feel like you're procrastinating too much, or maybe you're just not, you just don't get that fulfillment, even like the enjoyment of working anymore. Like I found now that I'm like forced myself to do at least like 10 hours total, I'm noticing that there's not a lot of time to procrastinate at all. And you start enjoying like getting stuff done more because like you're doing nothing but working anyways pretty much. So then when you get things done, it just feels even better. But the one thing that sucks is I'm staying up later than, like I'm in bed at like 8:30 to 9, but I stay up until like 10, maybe even 10:30 because I finally get in bed and then I'm like, I want my time to myself after working like that. But yeah, it's just crazy how 10 hours, when you think about it, isn't even a lot of time, but it just, when you're actually doing it and trying to squeeze in your day, like juggling everything else, it is hard to fit all that time in. But yesterday I was pretty much, I think I fixed up a couple things with how the posts were displaying, but now I have the individual posts, so I just modified this to generate a slug, and then it checks for duplicates. Go to the actual post page now, then I'm gonna eventually like work out that follow button to where you get notifications, but right now I'm not gonna worry about it. Then comments here, share, and then what this page is gonna look like, it's slightly different, just depending on, I kind of changed some things. But so this, if it focused, is that a word? Focuses? Oh, focuses. If it focuses, there we go. This is gonna look like this eventually. I think I got rid of that tag up there, moved it over there. But regardless, there's gonna be a comment section here, and then comments down here with like up or thumbs up, thumbs down. Their little badges next to their things. And then that should be done tonight. I know I have to edit the YouTube video, which might take an hour or two, but that should be done tonight. So I will hopefully update you guys later tonight on that. If not, this might be the end of the video. But yeah, there's going to be an outro regardless, I think. So you'll see whatever the next clip is. I have no idea. All right, so I just got these two books, The 12-Week Year and Company of One. This one I just saw and I thought it would look kind of cool. I think it's about goal planning, like planning goals in 12 weeks versus a year. But I don't really know. It looked interesting. I read the intro of it, and it seemed pretty cool. So pick that up. And this one as well. You guys might resonate with this one, Company of One. Maybe you've even read it. But it was between this or Start Small, Stay Small by Rob Walling. But honestly, like, I already have one of Rob Walling's books here, the SaaS Playbook. And not saying it was bad. Like, I don't doubt they're good books. But I just feel like it was all stuff, and maybe it's probably my fault. I just thought it was all stuff I already knew, and I didn't really gain. It was all common sense, at least. That's what it felt like to me. Maybe this will be as well. Maybe I'm looking for something that doesn't exist. But anyways, those two are up next after these two guys over there. All right, guys, just finished editing the video, working on some thumbnails now. Got an hour and a half left to go for the day. Solid day so far. It wasn't too bad. But if I'm planning on doing this every single day for the rest of the month, probably too early to speak. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here because I wanna edit the clips tomorrow in the morning before I post it. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. Also, thanks for almost 4K subs. It's literally crazy. Like, yeah, 4,000, to wrap my head around like 4,000. Like, that's nuts. So anyways, I appreciate it, especially if you made it this far. Appreciate you guys. Later.